What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ladies Who Bronche. I am Julissa.
What's good, everybody? This is Skittlez.
And this week, we have a homie that I met in 5th grade from the Bronx. One of my first Mexican friends, actually. One of my first Mexican friends and a dear brother to me, Heriberto. Who the fuck are you?
Hey, guys. My name is Heriberto Villa. So, as Julissa said it, me and her have been friends since 5th grade. We didn't finish that story, actually. So, we were talking about how we met.
Yeah.
So, I moved from Harlem. I grew up in Harlem maybe for 10 years on 126th Street between Broadway and Old Broadway. They have the one train coming up. It was completely different back then. Now it's really nice.
I can't even imagine because like that place now it's completely changed.
Yeah, they even have a Starbucks and everything. So.
Yeah, it's wild. And then you came from Harlem.
So I came from Harlem. So I came to the Bronx, and I mean we didn't really know much of the junior high schools at the time. So someone suggested, "Oh, there's a school, Flags 98." So me and my mother, we went to sign up, and since they didn't have no records of me, they put me in the slow.
You was in the special class,
in the
Eddie.
Slow class, yes.
Oh man!
Because you know how they used to have like every credit the report cards, what is it, quarterly or something like that. So I think his name was Mr. McGinnis, and he was like, "Yo, you guys do not belong here.
Yeah,
like, what are you guys doing here?" He obviously he could tell right away.
Yeah.
So that's when they transfer us to your class,
which was 501, the smart class. The smart.
Okay. All right. Okay. There was always that low key, like if you was in 501, you were the honors class that got to take the regions.
Yeah, we did.
And then if you were the 03,
you didn't take the Earth side. Yeah. Well, Eddie doesn't remember.
You didn't want to be an 04, like.
Yeah, Eddie doesn't remember, but we did have a chance to take the Earth Science region. Eddie and I took the Earth Science region in advance, and we took like a U.S. like a history one or something like that.
My mom tried to get me in that class.
Yeah, and
like my mom stayed trying to get me in that type of class, and I never got in it
because you were busy being Skittlez. Like
I would talk to a wall.
That was important. That needed to happen.
But the cool thing was that, like I told you earlier, it's like some people that you guys name, and I'm like, who the fuck are
who the fuck are these people?
Honestly, that's like half the people. No, even more than half. So that you guys take me through this whole time is like crazy. That's the most important thing, I think. You know?
Absolutely. So we've like honestly like Eddie really, and like he knows Desiree, who we've had on the show before as well.
Shout out to Desiree.
And like people who you will continue to meet, and it's like for some crazy reason we all stuck together.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no like there was no, I don't know, we just lived life.
I know. I always get the text of like, I'm at brunch with my middle school friends.
Yeah.
and I'll be like,
but it's a whole other like it's a like protected bubble almost. Like we each individually in that group have very separate lives. Like
exactly.
Very like if we didn't meet each other at that moment in our life, there's probably no way we would have crossed paths as adults.
It's like we never missed a beat. Like, so it just keeps going like the beat.
That's lovely.
We saw each other yesterday.
Literally like the same roles too. Like I get picked on. Caesar makes all the jokes. Eddie co-signs all the jokes and laughs. Like you know what I mean. Like Carmelia is always being loud and hitting the boys. Like it's literally the same.
Shout out to Carmelia.
Like and shout out to Carmelia. She's an auntie now.
Oh my
congratulations!
Yes.
Congratulations,
beautiful
baby.
Nephew, beautiful boy. But yeah, so like it's such a wonderful thing. But that's how we met. So we were in middle school. We had a lot of fucking fun. Grew up. And then where'd you go after Flags?
So I feel like when they're in high school, everybody just went their own separate ways. Because me and Dion, we went to the same high school. And me and Eddie.
Yeah.
And we just like everybody had just their own thing.
Yeah. And I would run into you on the train. I think that was part of how we like stayed connected too, because I would run into you on the train. So even if numbers would change, like I would eventually run into him and we would just update each other's number. Like,
and
you know,
social media.
And social media. But he's not really social media heavy.
No, but I'm trying to now.
You try to be.
Now I have to.
Now you have to be.
I'm creating a brand, so I have to put myself out there, let people fall in love with the person I am. And hopefully give me their business.
Right. At the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
So you went to high school where?
I went to high school in Manhattan Center.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
It was on 116 in Pleasant. I remember we went to a field trip over there.
Yeah, we had gone to a trip over there. I applied. I actually got into that school. If I didn't get into LaGuardia, PPAS, I probably would have gone there. Oh no, I also got into Talent
I was
Unlimited.
actually
I was
supposed to go
gonna
to LaGuardia too, though.
Yeah.
I never went to the test, though.
Yeah, you never went for art, right?
Yeah, for art.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to love to draw.
Yeah, it was
Yes.
awesome. I'm like, wow, like even I forgot. Yeah, like he would draw mad shit all the time.
Yeah.
I actually designed my tattoos to have on me.
Really?
I thought so.
Yeah.
I thought so because
Oh my god!
it looks reminiscent of his
let
art.
me hit you up.
Well, I designed them. I came up with the concept. Obviously, the tattoo artist drew
them.
way better than I did. But
But the first one that you got, like the angel one, reminds me a
Yeah.
lot of like what your art was. No, I mean in a good way. Like in a good way.
do
like
you
it
still
looks,
No,
do you
no,
still
no.
practice that?
no,
Oh,
I paint occasionally. So me and my fiance, we actually go to the park
the,
and just
really?
paint.
That's
That
awesome.
is-
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
so
cool.
so
sweet.
adorable.
That's
But
like movie sweet.
It's just cool because like you go somewhere where it's quiet and
Yeah.
it's basically we're there together, but we're not there together.
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
same
you're
time.
not-
So everybody's just in their own world, just
That's beautiful.
paint whatever you fucking want to paint.
There's
Yeah.
that's it's important to keep people in your life that you can do that with.
No,
Yeah.
You know, that you don't have to be.
Yeah.
Oh, shout out to Yadira.
Yes,
Yeah.
your fiance. So all right, so from high school you go to.
Oh, so yeah, so then I went to I started actually in BMTC. Then I transferred. I was doing business, and then I transferred to Baruch College, where I started doing real estate, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed the numbers. I was been good at math, so something to see how you get value by investing a certain amount of money, and how it grows after a certain amount of time, depending on the environment that affects it so much. Is for me, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So that's where I went to. I was bartending at the time. I didn't have money to pay for college, so I had to find something to do.
Yeah.
So I started bartending, paid for college, and actually that kind of backfired because once I graduated, I couldn't really get an internship or a job because they had no experience. They were like, all I had was a bartending experience, but it actually kind of helped though because I know how to talk to clients now. So.
Yeah. Being a bartender, I think, like, literally, I can't imagine the stories that bartenders fucking collect. Like, I'm a playwright, and I'm like, maybe I should bartend for, like, a month and, like, just collect all these life stories.
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing because it actually makes you analyze your life even better. Because for me, what I've noticed, and I feel like it's a lot of people in the world now, they don't really know where they're going, you know, or they feel lost. Or I don't know, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I include myself in that. And you just start realizing that everything you went through is for a reason. And if you just learn from it and stop making excuses and just get up and do it, you could fucking do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how we're only a minute into this episode and he's already spitting
All this knowledge.
All this knowledge. Come and get it, children.
Yeah, but it takes a long time to actually go to find out. I mean, for me, it took me 27 years, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, like, I'm so proud of Eddie because, like, we were fucking little rascals. And, like, Eddie, I have to say, like, has always been, like, we were in the smart class, right? But, like, Eddie has always been a really, really fucking intelligent dude. And, like, anywhere in life, like, even if, like, you know, mathematically, even if he wasn't going to math class, but his math at work and in the street or whatever he had to, like, you know what I mean, was on point. Like, you know, maybe he wasn't reading the books that were assigned in English class because they weren't interesting to
horrible in
him.
English.
But, like, but you know what I mean? But he was still out here, and look, you hear him speaking. Like, you know, he's very, very knowledgeable and well-rounded. And, like, it's almost like where we come from, it was set up for him not to succeed. Like, it was, he was set up. There were so many things against him and so many, like, sidetracks that he could have taken and, like, gangs and all this wild shit. And, like, even if it took him up until now, and not even just now, like, the past few years, I'd say, you know what I mean? Like, to actually just, like, have that moment where it's like, no, I'm going to get my shit together. I will never forget, I ran into him on the train. We were all both on our way to school, and when he was in BMCC, and when he was like, yeah, well, I'm not staying there. Like, I'm like, he's too good for that. Like, he was like, I'm too good for that shit. And, like, the fact that he knew that, and it's almost like it was the moment where he's like, I just need to apply myself. Like, he had all the tools, he has the drive, he has the intelligence, and he's applied himself. And, like, honestly, it's so fucking rewarding to watch you now.
Oh, thank you so much, man. You about to make me tear.
No, but because we know each other's struggle. Like, I remember we'd be on the train and, like, he's like, yeah, I'm going to take my road test. I'm going to learn how to drive. And I'm like, yeah, I'll totally take the classes with you. And then next time I ran into him on the train, he's like, oh, I got my license already. Like, boom, boom, everything. That once he says he's going to do something, he fucking does it. Like, and I don't know how he makes it happen, but it just happens.
That's the goal,
like,
man. Shout out to Eric Thomas. Actually, he does inspirational videos online. I listen to him every morning.
Nice.
So that's what gets you up, sometimes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of excuses. There's always going to be excuses. There's always going to be shit that's going to happen.
Right.
You just got to get up and keep going. And it's true, actually. My father actually told me the same story. He was teaching me how to ride a bike. And I refused for him to hold me from the back. You know how they take the training wheels?
Yeah.
And they hold you from the back seat? I was like, no, leave it.
Yeah.
And I felt like 5-6 times, but I got it that day. Like,
wow.
And he told me, yo, I know you're motivated. We actually spoke. When was it? It doesn't matter. But we spoke. And we, like, it's been something I've been trying to do. I want to get connected more with my family.
Yeah.
So, my whole idea was like, I want to, when I become rich, I can help. I want to help my family. I want to help them with this. And I actually realized I don't need the fucking money to help my family. I could be there for them emotionally or be whatever reason. So I took my dad out, we spoke. And it's pretty cool because he tells me these stories that you forget about them.
Yeah.
And you just stop for a couple of seconds and you listen to the people. And for example, what you just said now is like, damn, there's people out there that think of me like this,
Yeah.
And it makes you just keep pushing more and believe in
Yeah.
Because the most more important thing is for me to believe it
right.
more than anybody
right.
else.
100%. And that's just what it is. I think a lot of us don't have we don't make room to believe in ourselves. Like we'll believe a million negative, wrong things that people will tell us about ourselves, but we are not quick to believe the things that are really true and positive about who we are. But yeah, that's Eddie.
Oh.
Yes. What an introduction. Well, Eddie, you're out to brunch. You go out to brunch with your friends.
With his fiance.
With your fiance. What is your go-to brunch plate?
Oh, the Wayland is on. The Wayland is the Alphabet City, the best brunch ever.
Really?
Funny story.
Wait. Be specific.
He literally just said the address.
Let
He said Alphabet City.
Yeah, well.
Alphabet City.
Wayland and Alphabet City. I want to be
I'll give you the
specific.
right address. Right now. Give me a second.
Yeah. So we'll.
Okay.
What are you getting at the Wayland while you're at the Wayland?
So the address of Wayland is 700 East 9th Street.
Yes. All right. Plug it. Come on.
I have to get their address because they're that good.
And so
All
what's your favorite thing to eat when you're there?
It's not so much what I eat. It's actually the experience.
Okay, so tell us about the
Come
experience.
through.
So, after a party, people get drunk, people fight, whatever. The whole reason I ended up in locked up, right? So I come out and I tell my fiance, hey, pick me up at the Wayland because there's a mutual spot we go to. So I go there. Mind you, I have no money. And I see the bartender like, hey, what's up? I don't have money, but my fiance's coming. She's going to pay you. It's okay if I get something to eat. And he was like, all right, whatever, okay. And he gave me multiple drinks. The bill was $150.
Wow.
And the guy, he had faith in me that he's like, yo, he's going to pay me.
Yeah.
And obviously my fiance came, picked me up.
And
We paid him, yeah. And we actually gave him a really good tip. But, not a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
And it was so much because I got out. And I didn't have anything. And someone was like, yo, I got you, brother.
Fuck it up.
Yeah.
You see, being a good Samaritan
honestly,
will get you customers. I say that all the time. I'm
Deadass.
like, you have to be a good person. You can't just show up to work and be good at your job. You also have to be a good person
Yes.
to the people that you're working with.
Also, I don't eat there. I drink.
So the real reason I don't have
The
to
real
pay.
reason. All right, so let's get to the real question. If you're trying to choose your favorite brunch booze, what are you going for?
My favorite brunch brews. Mimosas, probably.
Okay.
Mimosas. This is week 3 we've gotten mimosa.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Fuck with mimosas.
Yeah.
I really like different juices with my mimosas, and cranberry mimosas right now are in season, and I'm very excited. So are apple cider mimosas. Get with it. It is so good.
Well, as you know, I drink a whiskey.
Whiskey,
so
yeah.
I can't start drinking whiskey in the morning.
Yeah. Very true. And so, what was it like going out to eat when you were a kid?
My favorite thing to eat, McDonald's.
Oh, no. What was it like going out to eat? Like, what was the experience? Like, you would go out to eat with your family. What was it like?
Well, we just kind of just went to McDonald's.
It just was like, so what was it? Was that exciting?
Well, it was good because, so usually our family time was Sunday. So my dad worked the whole week. We used to live in Harlem, like I said. We actually used to live next to Grant's Tomb. Grant's Tomb is a beautiful park. You guys go see it. It's nice. and has like a museum and everything.
Yeah.
So that used to be like our family hangout spot.
That was also my family's hangout spot. That's so fucking weird.
No
You're
way.
the first other person who I've ever heard.
never seen you there.
Yeah. Well, maybe we have and we just didn't
Right.
know. But I'm sorry. I didn't even mean to interrupt. That was just so exciting. So you would go there.
Yeah, so yeah, we would go there, and it would be my whole family. My grandmother, obviously, or she had 9 kids, so all her 9 kids used to go there.
Wow.
So it was like, imagine seeing like a bunch of Mexicans.
Just mad Mexicans hanging
So it
out.
looked like a party. So there's a bunch of us too. It's
Yeah.
like- so imagine there's 9 brothers and sisters,
Wow.
and each of them has probably like 5 kids, average.
Wow.
So that's a lot. And then some of them even have grandchildren. So
Oh my God.
Yo.
That's beautiful.
That's fucking dope.
Yo.
One of my favorite things about living in this neighborhood too, and it's always like, and I don't know if they're Mexican or just Central American in general, but like in packs playing volleyball in like the like courts that we have by here.
Yes.
And like it's the whole family. You see the wives on the side and like even
Yeah.
grandmas sometimes, and they have food and they're playing music on the radio and the all the kids and the dudes are playing, and
I
I'm
don't-
just like, that's wonderful.
Yeah, well, I don't think we didn't play too much music, but we played a lot of games like
Games,
soccer
yeah.
and stuff like that. So after that, we were all there was a McDonald's literally in the corner of my house, so we would just all come down the hill to go to our house, and McDonald's was just there, and everybody would just eat together. So it was cool, McDonald's.
That's awesome.
What a beautiful
Yeah.
memory.
And so, what is your favorite bochincha topic to talk about while you're eating?
Damn, we're just too busy eating.
Yeah.
No, honestly, because it's like whoever eats
Even
the
when you
fastest
guys
eats
go out
the
to
most. 'Cause we used to
brunch?
get like not during brunch. For brunch, we speak. It just depends the mood.
The mood.
It depends the mood, all right.
Yeah, it depends the mood.
But do you like what are things that you're like that you find that you always talk about? Like me and Juan always somehow talk about dick, right? Like somehow, right?
Yeah.
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 So if it's my friends, a really close friend of mine, Ivan and our dentist, shout out to them. If it's with them, we just probably talking about how we're gonna make money.
Nice.
Nice.
If it's with my fiance, we usually speak how we can improve ourselves and our goals for the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really fucking solid. Heriberto, I need to start taking life advice from
honestly.
you.
No, but like I said, it takes time. It takes time. But honestly, like I said, you know me since what? Like that's the
grade?
thing, because I've heard people actually used to get awards back in when I was like in 5th grade or something
Yeah.
like that. And like so many people thought that was supposed to be this big thing. And
Well,
someone,
you were gonna be a lawyer at some point.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Somewhere in the middle, you just get like lost, for whatever reason, like little decisions just sidetrack you from where you're going.
Yeah.
The best thing now is that I know where I'm going, so
That's awesome.
that's it.
All right, and now we're gonna move into our cheers to the lady who moment where we shout out people who are doing dope shit. All right, now this is not necessarily dope, but
This is strictly on your end too.
Yeah.
Kanye fan.
It's so much bigger than Kanye. I think that seeing that he either is potentially back on medication or is, even if he's not on medication, that his mind is leaning towards trying to open up and see that he hasn't been, sort of in his right state of mind and that he's been used as a puppet. Like the idea that he might potentially be honestly having a moment of realization is exciting to me, because although canceling Kanye West makes complete sense, I get it. I know why people are mad at him. I'm not questioning that. If we have the ability to potentially save him and like see someone in the public eye like come full circle from like really bad moment to whatever, then I think that it is a great example that can be used when we're talking about mental health in our communities, and how like there is a moment where it gets rough and it's hard to be supportive to someone when they are, essentially being assholes. But those assholes like sometimes need support to grow out of the bad shit and the bad state of mind that they're in. And so like if we can do that with Kanye, I think that just gives hope for other people. Like we all have toxic people in our lives. Like Kanye is just a fucking man at the end of the day, and there's so many people in our lives who talk and say wild shit like Kanye West, and like we don't care that deeply, you know what I mean? And I get it because he's in the public eye, and so what he does affects more people. But my point being that if he can come full circle, then it could be a lesson on how we can, and the people in our lives who aren't in the public eye who are that way, see a hope that they can maybe change their perspective too. I just want to have that hope. And so that's what it's really about for me. It's not about Kanye West as a man and, let's listen to his music now and let's buy his shit.
All right. I am a Britney fan. I went through 2007. All right. So you don't have to explain yourself to me.
I'm explaining myself actually to the world.
Okay.
Because I know how triggering that is and how upsetting a lot of the shit he said was. Like, I'm not going to deny that. And quite frankly, even in these words are not enough of a sign of what he needs to do. Like, he needs to take real actions. Like, he said he's awake, but like, are you going to act woke or are you just going to say you're woke and get in good
and you won't know. I don't even know what I would do if Britney.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
With the technology.
Fuck Kanye West. One.
Okay.
Well, the only reason I don't like Kanye West because he had that beef with 50 Cent.
From school. Can I tell you, Heriberto was the biggest G-Unit fan I ever knew in my life. Like
50 Cent fan.
Yeah, 50 Cent.
All right,
but you would wear the G-Unit clothes.
I used to wear G-Unit clothes and G-Unit sneakers, so there is no judgment here. That used to be my straight boy gear. So I had the red and black G-Unit sneakers and the red and black G-Unit shirts.
And you know what? Heriberto had this hoodie that I liked that it was all black and it just said G-Unit in like the basic font. And it was the best. It honestly was the best.
Listen, G-Unit was popping when we were in middle school, so fuck out of here. If anybody's judging right now, shout out to G-Unit, shout out to Lot 29.
Actually, doesn't even matter if they judging.
Speaking of G-Unit, can I sidetrack real quick? And can we talk about how 50 Cent bought 200 seats at a Ja Rule concert just so that nobody can be there? So he bought 200 seats in the front row so that nobody would buy them, but nobody showed up. So his show was literally empty in the front, and then anybody else was around.
Petty.
And
That's petty.
Like, how do you bring back that old ass beef? And that's like fucked up. Like
there was that meme going around talking about like, yo, I love 50 Cent, but I understand why he got shot 9 times.
Yeah, like he's a dick. He's also sometimes a little like transphobic, and I have issues with some of the shit he says, but he's 50 Cent, and I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't fuck with his music. I do, but he's problematic.
He's petty.
He's petty and he's problematic.
I just fuck with his Get Rich or Die Trying.
Get Rich or Die Trying. I mean, like, really, that is 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Like, that album is what 50 Cent is always gonna be to me.
Talking about hip hop, let's get into what's going on in this Nicki and Cardi beef. So, basically, earlier this week, Cardi released 9 videos just going off on Nicki Minaj. And I must say, as someone who really does love Nicki Minaj and really does love Cardi B, it was really the best thing to happen in pop culture for us to distract us from everything that's going on in the political world, because Cardi B really was just keeping it 100. She was really just on some shit bitch, you keep talking shit about me. I want you to leave me alone. This is what's going on. This is why you're mad, but you keep saying this, and this is what really happened.
She had all the receipts.
Yeah, she really went off. And I had to, even as someone who has been following Nicki Minaj, had to give my respect to Cardi B, because I got my entire soul from Cardi B's videos. Now, of course, Cardi B's rant came from a bunch of shit that has been going down in their beef, but mainly Nicki Minaj recently released a she's been doing a bunch of shit. Basically, Nicki Minaj has gotten mad petty. So Nicki Minaj has released a line of merchandise that says "Nicki, stop my bag," because Cardi B's main argument in some interview was that Cardi B supposedly said that on the post that Cardi B posted after the whole Nicki Minaj debacle at the Bazaar party, was that Cardi B accused Nicki Minaj of liking a comment that Cardi B was a bad mother, and that whatever, Nicki Minaj denies all the claims, blah, blah, blah. That's why the Harper's Bazaar thing happened, because she was like, nah, you could talk about me, you could lie on me, but as soon as you start judging my motherhood, and how I take care of my child, fuck out of here. I'm not, I'm not fucking with that. Which is understandable. Whatever. Harper's Bazaar happens, blah, blah, blah. So, Cardi B put in the in the post after the Harper's Bazaar thing that Nicki was stopping her bag, aka like stopping artists from working with her.
Yeah, their money. Yeah.
From her money. So Nicki Minaj put out a merchandise brand that said Nicki Stop My Bag. Like t-shirts, bags, hoodies, whatever. Queen Petty.
Did you buy the shirt?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
Because I don't invest in Nicki Minaj. I just follow her. I invest in Britney Spears.
Britney Spears? Why?
Because she is Godney. But we're not talking about that.
About Britney Spears, though. Why you like Britney Spears?
Oh, he doesn't know your... that's a whole...
That's an entire
No, but that's cool.
episode.
Tell me about that. I'd rather hear about that than about...
Sure, give it to us. Give
All
us the short
right,
version.
so the shortest version that I could possibly give
No,
is
you can make it long.
Honestly,
ahead,
there
talk
might
to
be
me.
some people who actually don't know why.
Yeah,
Like, they
exactly.
know, but they don't know why.
All right. Well, I guess the biggest way that I could put is that Britney Spears for me was what a lot of like Madonna was for earlier gays, Lady Gaga was for like younger gays than me. Britney Spears really was the gay icon that I related with as a child. So like everything that she was going through, like, and all the music that she released really related to everything that I went through as a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
What was she going through?
Oh, I was going through a lot of stuff that we will get into.
No, I'm talking about Britney Spears. What was she going through that you connected
teen
with?
angst.
Yeah, teen angst, you know. Everything, like, you know, with 2007 and the shaving of the head.
Was teen angst, like they were making fun of her?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I don't.
It was like at the height of paparazzi and at the height of, you know, that whole phenomenon of being a it girl. Mm-hmm. She was the pinnacle of that. And they built her up to be Britney Spears, American Pie, you know.
Sweetheart.
Sweetheart who doesn't do anything wrong. And then here she is shaving her head and, like, banging a van with an umbrella. Like, she was like, fuck this, you know?
Yeah.
And it said that, like, when she was shaving her head, she said she was talking about, like, don't touch me. I don't want anybody to touch me, you know? So she went through, like, this traumatic experience, but through that traumatic experience released the best album that she's ever released, like, in her entire career. The only album to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So it's always kind of like
What's the
this
name of the
mystery.
album? I never even heard it. What's the name?
Which
called Blackout.
Called Blackout.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hear that.
So
That sounds
yeah.
dope.
So like she's an icon, whatever. But I forgot what I was.
So you were saying the Cardi Stop My Bag shit.
Yeah, but that's cool though that Britney Spears, she went through mad shit.
Yeah,
and she came out to something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, girl is starting a new residency and making $500,000 a show.
Yeah.
And she lip syncs
a show. She's lit. She's lit.
Definitely.
So we were saying that. So Nicki, the whole released my bag.
Yeah. So Nicki Minaj was being very petty, very, very petty, and you know, released a line about the Nicki Stop My Bag, and then I essentially answered her in a verse, and it's featured on Tyga's new song Dip, where she says all that rah-rah shit was an icon issue. Harper's Bazaar, I'm covering their icons issue. So she's literally talking about the Harper's Bazaar party. Mm-hmm. And then she goes, W, Vogue, Cosmo, I got issues. Because Cardi B keeps on saying that Nicki Minaj has issues. So she's like, yeah, I got issues. I'm on the cover of magazines.
Right.
So I think that the release of that verse was what caused Cardi B to go off on this internet tirade.
Gotcha.
And yeah, I don't know. I was here for it. It was fun. And it was interesting to follow. And
yeah, no, it was fun. And honestly, watching Cardi
it was refreshing.
sort of go in and like with her big ass nail, like tapping on her phone,
yes.
going down the pictures. I was just like, wow, I feel like I'm in middle school again. And the pretty girl in class is tight as some shit. And she's like giving everyone the gossip. So it was definitely fun, but you know, I hope that the ladies can come together. And I know Nicki posted some shit saying like, oh, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Like she wants to move on.
Then Cardi reposted it. So I think, honestly, there's something inside my soul that says and I think it's because I watched Roxanne on Netflix. That's about Roxanne.
You talked about it,
Shantae,
in the other episode.
whatever. Yeah. That they were paid
right
to be. Yeah, you know my thoughts.
Yeah,
okay. I think they're getting paid
to do this. Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised. And you've been watching a lot of Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yes. Okay. So I just wanted to throw in this shit to check out. Watch Sabrina: The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. It's creepy, but it's like also has the nostalgic feel because it's the same characters, but it's a completely different interpretation. And I've been fucking with it, so go check it out.
Nice. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. The girl who plays Sabrina was in the show Mad Men.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's a little lit. She's lit, so I'm gonna check it out. Maxine Waters ain't scared of no pipe bomb, bitch.
Yo, don't come with no bombs to my fucking house. Like, yo, I'm not scared of that shit.
Like Maxine Waters yet again, and honestly, like a lot of people had to deal with that shit. Actually, one of the pipe bombs that were sent was in the post office across the street from my dad's job, which, like, okay, they wouldn't have blown up to a point where it would have been dangerous and my dad would have died or anything, but I'm starting to feel that fear that I felt when I was in middle school, which was like, oh shit, is there going to be a terrorist attack again? Or is there going to be, and not terrorist as in like, I'm thinking.
There isn't going to be one.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about the Middle East. I'm talking about white people. Like, that's it's the thing. It's like, do I think that ISIS is going to attack the United States right now? I'm not afraid. I mean, like, I'm afraid of terrorism overall, but like, I'm not focused on the Middle East. The motherfuckers who are trying to kill me are right the fuck here, living here in the United States. I mean, they're the ones who are literally killing people. I mean, we're going to talk about it later, but Donnie Jones, like, got lynched literally in his mom's backyard.
Last week.
And
wait, who got lynched?
So there's a woman who is an active Ferguson advocate in Missouri, and her son, who's in his 20s, got lynched in her backyard. Like, that's literally some, like, slave time.
And then it just came out that they were ruling it as a suicide.
Yeah, they were trying to say that it was a suicide.
Was it a suicide?
No, there's no evidence. There's no evidence whatsoever that would indicate. And there's no one.
There was evidence that the lady lynched him?
So it's under investigation, but the first assumption right away was like, oh, they couldn't have lynched him. That was suicide. But she's targeted because she is an activist. So she's actively, always shouting and representing Black Lives Matter this, and you know what I mean? And some of those people have been attacked. And these people get death threats all the time, like just because they're activists. So it's not like far-fetched. It's just interesting because the first thought is always to protect the white guy, and like it's like almost impossible that a white guy would just do that, even though we just had a whole week where dudes were sending pipe bombs. A white guy literally walked into a synagogue and killed a bunch of Jewish, you know what I mean? Like, we just had a week. There's
a lot of things happening, and it's about to be mid-elections.
Yeah, and it's the timing of everything. Like, it's absolutely intentional. Not, like, no one's doing it. It doesn't happen to be before the midterms. People are really trying to make this election go red. And not people, I'm sorry. Republicans, these white supremacists are working very hard to make sure that Democrats do not win this midterm election. And that's not to say that Democrats aren't doing a hell of a job of trying to make sure that we go out and vote too. But there's a little piece of me that is afraid that their malice and they're willing to go
so
very
mean,
far.
The white people or the...
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. So they're willing to go very far to make sure that the Democrats don't win. And so I just think that if the Democrats aren't going to play dirty, we're going to lose because we're not playing dirty, and they will play dirty. And so we will lose no matter what. So that scares me. That's terrible. And so it's important for people like Maxine Waters to keep saying that they ain't fucking scared when you send bombs to them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, literally.
But the bombs were never going to get to them.
Well...
It was never, the system is so crazy that it was never going to get to them.
But the statement did as much as it needed to. You know what I mean? Like, the statement of what that meant, that those people were...
But
and the
I'm
intention...
saying, like, so you're telling me this is the first time that a package goes to any...
Oh, no.
It's not. So why... They just went to report it, though.
Yeah, but because it was multiple people and, like, at the same time. Like, it was, like, multiple...
Okay.
It wasn't,
but
like,
I'm asking, what you think... Do you think that will ever happen again? Did that? Hell yeah, that happened millions of times.
Oh
People
yeah,
send,
I'm sure. I mean,
like, bombs and
anthrax.
stuff.
Well, it doesn't even have to be bombs. Remember when they were sending that chemical in
Right.
the envelopes, right? Like that stuff happens all the time. But my point is the timing of it. You know what I mean? And the idea that it's happening again. If a white dude wants to make sure that Trump stays president, and now the white dude is the one who's like doing all this crazy shit, I feel like we were raised in a way to be taught that like only the outside people, the non-Americans, are the dangerous ones that are going to come here and they hate our freedom and they're going to whatever. But now it's actually just the white people, and we're surrounded by them. Like they run the country, so it's kind of like, what the fuck does that even mean for us, bro? Like, yes, and that's a statement to the politician, but the scary part of it, for me at least, is that if they can do that to them, when people decide it's time for war, I can be walking down the street one day and walk by a white motherfucker in the same way I used to be scared of Bloods and Crips. I now need to be afraid of white people I'm walking past because they might just snatch me up and kill me, because that's the direction that it seems to be going. And maybe not in New York, but like that seems to be the direction that it's going. And does that not scare anyone? Am I bugging? Like,
No,
I have a theory
it
about
is
this.
scary.
Hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, I will admit to like even having scared on like St. Patrick's Day when I was in the city. I was like, too many white frat boys.
Yeah.
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 I understand that feeling.
Yeah, I had a theory about this. This might sound crazy, right? You know how I feel like they control us with the news, right?
Yes, media. I would
Media,
agree that
obviously.
media controls this. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So people probably send bombs or whatever threats to them daily,
Right.
and it just the media decides, okay, let's
Report it now.
report it now, and now they have everybody like worrying about stuff that already happens. And you know what it is? White people always been in control. Now we're just noticing. Like,
Right.
It's like another generation now. Like I feel like everybody now is smart.
Yeah, and
So,
I think also, and like I feel like everybody's known it, but not everybody's been after, like, especially when they dismantled like the Black Panther Party and all these big things. People were afraid to try to resist again because they literally saw a whole fleet of people get knocked down. So there was a long generation of like, nah, not me. I'm not gonna be the one. So people were just trying to fit in and then fit the mold and like shut the fuck up because I got to keep my job and I can't black out. And so people were like learning to behave so that they wouldn't get killed. But now it's like people are like, wait, why are we behaving for them? Like, fuck them, right? And now that we're saying fuck them again, though, the same aggression that existed at that time is coming back because they're not just going to let us take over. You know what I mean? And so that's what I mean. Like, there is, and it's just scarier now because what you're saying is true. Those things probably happen every day, but because they happen every day and because now people are getting more comfortable doing it more often and more publicly, and there's no age, like the White House isn't condemning them, the military is ran by the White House, like, you know what I mean? It's like, who's gonna protect us when shit hits the fan? Like, like he wants to build a wall between, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild. It's almost like a fantasy.
Well, I could get over this.
Yeah, you better run. I would run. I literally think about that. I'm like, I need to know when I need to leave to DR at the right time, because there's gonna be a moment I need to leave and I need to take my family and we're gonna have to go the fuck to DR. Like, the fact that I think that could possibly happen is not okay.
That's scary.
That's scary. That's scary. Anyway, Maya in the moment.
Yeah, shout out to Maya in the Moment, who was just written up by Forbes in an article that says a Latina who made it onto BuzzFeed's Pero Like by focusing on authenticity. I just wanted to give her a shout out because I see you making moves, saw you in Hispanicize, and you looked amazing. So shout out to you, girl.
And shout out also to Julissa. Julissa recently did a tour where she gave like a speech at a university. I can't remember the name of the university now, but it was really, really dope. And she was just also talking about like, believing in your dreams and you just have to fucking go get it. So both of those girls are out there killing it. Shout out to them. All right, so now we're going to move into our Tuta Loca Es, where we call motherfuckers out for doing the most. I had already mentioned Danya Jones. We already talked about it, but we definitely just wanted to highlight that this is a really scary time to be a black person. It's always been a scary time to be a black person in America. But, as we were just saying so passionately right now, we're just literally living in a time where the way in which our black heroes and movement was dismantled seems to be happening again. And it's not just killing black people, but also like dismantling groups and all the voter suppression that we've been hearing about. Like, it is literally, they're attacking at all angles. And it's scary. And I feel very lucky to live in New York right now. Birthright citizenship. So Trump proposed that he can write an executive order to end birthright citizenship. And Perez Hilton actually came out and was like, yeah, I don't support Trump, but, I also agree that if two immigrants come here and they have a baby, their baby just can't like come here and take all the benefits. And it's just he did. He sure did. And so, the idea that like it's being painted as though like people come here, have the baby, and then the baby is sucking all these resources without giving anything back. Like, you know what I mean? As though they aren't citizens, which means that they need to pay taxes and they need to go through the life that every other American has to go through. What handouts are they getting? The right to start a life here? That just doesn't make sense. So even that is scary. I'm at the point where I'm like, he's going to find a reason to deport me. Like, I'm going to get deported. Your parents weren't citizens when they got here, even though they came legally, but they weren't Americans, and we're trying to just keep it to real Americans.
But they don't understand, though. Like, that's the thing. They don't really even if they don't really understand what it is to live our lives,
Yeah. No, they don't.
So
but
it's just different for them,
But I wonder then why they care so much to ruin it and to like not just let us live our lives. Like, clearly there's an intimidation or a loss of power that they feel the more that we just live our lives. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like we wake up every day and we're like, we're gonna fight to beat white people and be better than white people. Like, we don't wake up. We're just out here. We wake up and we say, I want to take care of my family. I want my family to have a better life. I want to achieve this dream. I want to make this money. It's not about them, but it feels like some white people wake up in the morning and it's just like fucking niggers. Fucking, wetbacks, and like, I'm gonna do,
you gotta understand that like, there's like a lot of, I've personally met a lot of black men that are amazing people. Like,
of course,
the most amazing, but that's what I'm saying. So they've made it. I've met a lot of Mexican people. I met all kind of people that they're great in whatever they do.
Right.
So the thing is, like, it's not, I feel like sometimes we focus too much on everybody's going through shit. We all going through shit.
Right.
But if that black brother made it, if that Mexican guy made it, if whoever made it, why can't? I mean, yes, if someone was gonna fall short, obviously you all go through obstacles. I go, man, you have no idea my obstacles. But if they made it, why we can't?
Yeah, and I think essentially, like, what I'm saying is that it's scary that now you can go through that journey, you can fight and make it, right? And then because you're black and a cop pulls you over and he thinks you're about to shoot him, then you're gonna get killed. So, but that's my point, is that it's a scary time to live, because even though we're just out here making it and not giving ourselves excuses and living our lives, literally, like, there's new obstacles every time that we have to face, and some of them are just because of the color of our skin and not because of the universe.
What I'm saying, that those same black people that went through all of that, they still made it.
Right, for whatever reason. It. And then, like, Martin Luther King, and then he got killed. Like, and then, like, you know what I mean? And then it's there's always the bullet or the death always seems to be the, end of the line. Like, you know what I mean?
But that's what I'm saying. I've met a lot of black men that are great. I met lawyers. Right. I met real estate agents.
Yeah.
And they're like to the top. They're at the top of their fields. Yeah. Like, they really are.
Yeah.
So if they can make it, and I guarantee you talk to them, they probably went through half that more than us, probably, because they're black.
Right. Well,
there's a way to make it. It's just everybody just stop making excuses. That's all it is.
But I think that whether we make excuses or not, like, we are being persecuted right now. Is what I guess is what I'm saying. Because, like, literally,
it's always been like that.
Yeah. No, it's not old. All this shit isn't new, but like I said, it's happening more publicly, more comfortably because
we have social media now, we have Facebook, we have all sources of.
So it's stuff. A lot more to digest, right? So we see it more, but it's always been happening. I agree with that. No, I 100% agree with that. But I'm saying, but it is a scary time because now that's all happening, but it's happening under a president who, even if every white motherfucker in office has been racist, he is so openly so that it is now making the people who felt like they had to hide their racism in certain places that they don't actually need to hide their racism anymore. And it's just like, okay, well, that doesn't mean that we're not going to finish college and make money and achieve our dreams because that's happening. But it does mean that we're living in a time where we can literally be attacked or killed or something more so than we would have before this administration is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the next Tuta Loca goes to a freaking school district that is investigating a Facebook post featuring teachers dressed as Mexicans and Make America Great Again wall. Like, it's literally a picture. One picture is teachers dressed as Mexicans, and then the next picture is another bunch of adults, like, with painted brick walls in front of them, like, smiling, cheesing.
And then behind, like, one of them is a Statue of Liberty. The other one is, like, it's a lot of, like, American things, and it's, like, the wall is going to make America great again. And then the other teachers were the Mexicans who couldn't get through the wall.
That's funny.
You know, so I was gonna ask you. So, like, as a Mexican American, like, how does that make you feel?
It's funny.
What's funny about it for you? Like, what?
Well, it's just funny. We're gonna lie, like, we don't make fun of white people behind the back. We make fun of white people.
Oh, of course, but you know,
it's just funny. Just people do what people do, and it's just funny.
I wonder but do you think the wall will go up? And do you think, like, do you feel like as a Mexican American,
people are gonna find a way to get in? It doesn't matter.
You don't think so? You don't think the wall is gonna be
doesn't matter. Mexican people are gonna get in. I'm guaranteed Mexican people are gonna get in.
That's it's like 100% sure. And I mean, like, we have the group of people that's making their way to the border right now. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think is gonna happen when they get here? Do you think they're gonna make it through? Or do you
they're gonna make it through. Of course.
You don't think that the military is gonna?
Well, the military, they're not allowed to. No.
To shoot at them?
Nope. They're just there to provide support. That's all there is.
Okay. I didn't know that. I actually don't know that because I heard about the story, but I didn't actually understand the real, like, they've been following their journey. And then I know that Trump sent a bunch of troops down there, but I didn't know that it was to help them. I thought it was, like, to make sure that they didn't get in because
they're helping the was it like the United Nations police, whatever they are.
Okay.
The United Nations.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so
Gotcha.
That's what they're just supporting. They're not. If people just come, they're not gonna shoot them.
Okay. I thought that they were going to, like, try to stop them from entry because I thought that there was a shooter that always just was there that would, like, not shoot to kill, but would, like, deter people from actually crossing the border. But I have to say that I don't know that much about, like, our immigration policy to that degree, like, to the, like, what happens exactly at the border when you get there. Like, I have a general knowledge of, like, what things are, like, birthright. You know, as one of the things I'm aware of what that is. The wet foot, dry foot, like, things like that. But I don't actually know the function of that. And I have to say I didn't do enough research on that to even know, like, what's really happening. But I know that the number of people who were making their way up has gone down a lot. Like, the more that the news is coming out of how America's preparing, like, the number has gone down a lot. So.
Yeah, and also just fuck those teachers.
Yeah. Also,
yeah. Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Like,
the teachers. I don't know
what teachers.
The teachers who dressed up in the costume. I just don't know, like, if I was a Mexican kid in the class, like, and maybe, like, my parents were here undocumented and I'm, like, afraid that they're gonna get deported. I don't know if I would find it, like, I don't know how I would feel if my teacher was dressing up as the wall. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't.
Just saying it sounds funny.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, I mean, the whole country's a joke right now.
That's just how it proves how crazy white people are. Like, what are you doing dressing as a wall, brother? Come on. Yeah. There's more important shit going on than you go here worrying about a wall. Yeah.
Oh, fucking A. Anyway, the topic of the day. Being a bad hombre in the Bronx. So, Heriberto, you are of Mexican-American descent.
Yes, sir.
And you gave us a little bit of a background of, like, where you lived in New York, but I'm very interested in, like, what your life has been overall as a Mexican-American here in the East Coast, in the borough of the Bronx. I feel like in media and TV, we get to see a lot of the Mexican-American experience on the West Coast, but, like, media doesn't always cover, like, the East Coast Mexican-American experience. So let's start from the beginning. What's your parents' story? How did they get here?
Oh, man, my parents' story is crazy. So my mother and my father, they actually met when they were 3 years old.
What? Wow.
They grew up in a small town back in Mexico. It literally is, like, in the middle of the mountains. It's a road, and out of nowhere, just, like, little houses up here, and that's where they lived. Like,
wow,
that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So they decided, they grew up, whatever. They moved to New York together. Well, my mom's mother, my grandmother, she moved to New York first. So she was with her grandfather. They made a little bit of money, and back in the day, they used to get paid, I don't know, like $10.
Wow.
Right. So little by little, her kids started coming over, and my mom came over. So they were here together. They got an apartment with my aunt, so they lived together. my aunt, mom died. So my mother went. No, actually, I'm lying. My dad's mom died. So my dad came to Mexico, but my mom was pregnant with me at the time. She was in New York. He was in Mexico. So he was going. Your mom dies. I can't even imagine that. I don't even want to imagine that. But
Yeah.
what you go through.
Yeah.
So he was really depressed. So my mom went over to take care of him.
Wow.
So she was pregnant with me at the time. So she went to Mexico without papers. So to come back, you got to cross the border.
Wow. Yeah.
Again. So.
Wow. That's a big risk.
So they went, whatever, they went to the funeral, whatever happened, my dad came over. So now they were both trying to come to New York when my mom is 8 months pregnant.
Wow.
So they're making the trip. When she got to New York, 3 weeks later, I was born.
Wow.
So she crossed the whole time with me on the border.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow. It almost like hearing that story, it's like inspiring, and at the same time I'm like, damn, and how is this administration like, how could you want to remove, like, how could you say, like, after somebody takes that journey and does that, like, you go back just because I said so? Like, it's so frustrating, but it's so beautiful, the like passion and love that is behind the story.
Yeah. But that's the thing that keeps me going, though, because she raised so much for me to be here.
Yeah.
So I owe her something.
Yeah.
Honestly. So.
Yeah. And so tell us, what was it like? So you're here?
Okay, so we're here, and actually it's pretty cool, though, because I grew up with my cousins. My mom and her sister, we shared the same apartment, so it was a big family there. So I had my cousins, my Argenis, you met him before.
Argenis, yeah.
Man, we grew up together, so we always had somebody to hang out, and we grew up in the projects. And back in the 1990s, the projects they were just black people, which I feel like that's why it made me who I am today, honestly, because I don't really hang out with Mexicans that much, except for my cousins and my family.
Right.
But
that is true, actually. Yeah, you do have you have more black friends.
Yeah, because we grew up in the project, so like that's all the people we were around with. Like and to us that was normal. Like so we go to school and then we hanging out with black people and all this, and so everybody. It was Harlem. I loved Harlem.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it was just cool. Like I didn't worry about nothing. To me, everything was normal. But then we moved to the Bronx and it was just different people. Yeah. Fucking Dominican people.
Yeah. A lot of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got Jonathan and you got Carmel. And then I met these crazy people and then these crazy people changed my life. Like for some reason, I never connected to people like I connected to, like I said before.
Yeah.
It was like dopest shit ever. Because I carry the shit we have, the relationship we go through.
Yeah.
We carry it through the years. So it's amazing.
It is. And so like, for you, because it's interesting you say that, because like all of us came to school and that was our safe space and we were who we were presenting, but then like our home lives were all very different and like sometimes we knew about each other's home lives and sometimes we really didn't know what the fuck was going on in anyone's house. So like what was it like growing up, like that back and forth between being in the home with mom and really being in that Mexican context and then coming back outside?
Being Mexican, I don't think you could really share the experience unless you're Mexican. It's different. It's completely different. So we have good parties, amazing parties. We get drunk. That's good. We dance. The music doesn't even make sense, and it's just fine. Just dance because we get drunk. The food is banging.
Yes.
Oh man. A lot of people just know about tacos and quesadillas. Bro, go to my mom's house, and she'll make the best Mexican food in the world. Seriously.
Oh man, yeah, that's it. I remember we did a Super Bowl one year, and we went to your house, and like potato.
Oh yeah, made my guy.
Mad, like the sausage was just. It was like amazing.
Shout out to Potato.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like literally made the best fucking food, and I was like, bro, I need to come to everything that they do that he cooks at. Like it's so good.
He actually there's times where he cooks for his family, and he comes up with the best meals ever.
Yeah.
Ham. I don't know where the fuck he sees the recipes at. Like,
he just makes them. Yeah, he's
dope.
Really good. So like you have basically like that homey feel of like, it's a community. Like it's your family, but you guys were really a community. And so would you say that like you guys faced discrimination both like, like in different spaces that you went through, like your family? What was discrimination like for you guys?
I feel like it was more when we were smaller, though. When we were in Harlem. We just don't remember it too much. Because back over here, like I said, we met Spanish people, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans. That was new to us. So, like, meeting people that actually spoke Spanish was pretty cool, you know?
Yeah.
So, when we came over here, like, once I actually remember, I don't really... That's it. Like,
Yeah.
Never really happened to me. Because I used to hang out with, like, black people. We used to hang out with, like, the fake bloods back in the day.
Right.
In the projects.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And I remember, like, sometimes I think about the jokes we used to crack on each other and, like, how, like, back then it was just like, what? That's just the joke. And, like, if we were to hear kids like that now, we'd be like, oh, my God, that's so problematic. And I think about, like, when they would say, oh, like, to me, like, oh, you're a dumb in a can, right? And then, like, people always make fun of you being Mexican, even though they loved you and accepted you. Like, it was always a joke for some reason. Like, we had to point out the fact. Even still, I feel like sometimes we go to Rancho Carmelia's like, you fucking Mexican, like, and it's just like,
as a teacher,
you know,
also still today amongst our teenagers,
right? You know what I mean? Like, and so I think,
but you just gotta find yourself, man.
Right?
Well, honestly, because fuck that, I fucking love being Mexican.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bro, you asked me who I'm from Mexico.
Yeah.
Even back in Mexico.
There's definitely that Mexican pride, though.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Like,
Always.
there's this thing of, like, people making fun of Mexicans, but then there's also, like, a strong pride in being Mexican and, like, you know, loving where you came from and the culture and everything. And, like, there's so many different, like, areas from Mexico that, like, have different customs and, like I don't know, that pride is strong. It's strong.
Yeah. So I do want to just really quickly, you know, let's talk about real estate, right? So, like, how did you end up in real estate? Like, what was your journey?
Okay, so like I was saying before, I used to bartend in order to pay for college, so because I didn't have the money. So while I was bartending, that's what I was doing. Once I graduated, I received my bachelor's in real estate investment. And once I graduated, I wanted to work for CBRE. I signed up for the summer program, but apparently I didn't qualify because I needed 2 years of experience. But I didn't have the money for it, so I bartended and I don't have the experience. So now I'm over here looking for jobs after I graduate. You know, the usual.
Yeah, the usual hustle.
Yeah. So there was one of my boys. He used to do real estate. He's like, "Yo, why you don't join a real estate company? Get your experience there for 2 years." And then go apply. The reason I wanted to apply for CBRE is because they have a headquarters in downtown Los Angeles, which is where I want to live. I went to Los Angeles in March.
And you fell in love over there.
Fell in love with it. So that's my plan. Like, make enough, not making enough, be sufficient enough where I could live here and live there. So I really like it.
Lit. Yeah, I think owning real estate in more than one place is really important. And, like, for people who don't know about home ownership at all, because I really do feel like there are people who don't know about it, and it's not because they don't want to, but we've never necessarily had anyone teaching us at an early age, like, hey, this is how you can succeed in owning property in the future if that's what you want to do, rather than the Pythagorean theorem. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so what tips or what sort of, like, advice would you give to people who are wanting to get into real estate on a purchasing, like your clients, like these are, so now you're going to talk to put your real estate hat on, you're going to talk to your clients. If I want to own a home or an apartment or whatever the hell it is in New York City or anywhere, how do I make that happen? Like, what are some of the common misconceptions that people have where that make them think, oh, I can't do it because of this, but that's actually not true?
It's actually the bad thing is the opposite. A lot of people think they could do it.
Tell me more about that.
They can't do it.
And why? Like, why? What are the costs? How does it work?
Okay, so let's say you go to a doctor. You're gonna tell him that he's been studying how to do the whole procedure. Hey, don't clean my teeth this way, or don't do the surgery this way. You're not gonna do that,
right?
Are you?
Of course not. Yeah.
So there's people that just read, the quick scheme books or the real estate books.
Right.
But the thing is, like, the books, none of it could explain how it actually is to be a real estate agent. You actually just it's something you have to just go through it. Like, you get a bunch of motherfuckers that get on your nerve, and then you get cool people, you know, that you actually connect, and then throughout the years, you build relationships, which is the best thing about the job. You know, because, like, you get to meet, like, so many cool people, honestly.
Yeah.
It's dope. Like, I went to a Mets game and I sat in the booths with the VP, the owner, sits at.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I was just hanging out with him and I was just chilling. Like, it's pretty cool, you know, to be that connected to people.
Right. So do you feel a sense of like a success? Like, do you feel like you now have the key to like a different world of understanding than a lot of people around you have had? Like that you can spread knowledge on not even just becoming a real estate agent, but like buy a home. Like now, you know what I mean? Like that you can teach people how they can buy a home if they want to buy a home and stuff like that.
Well, my personal goal when I feel like I'm successful is where, with me, I don't have no doubt that I'm going to make it where I'm going to make it. But to me, to feel successful is that I'm good enough. I'm a good of a man to make sure my brother is successful, my sister is successful, my others is successful. And make sure because this is my dad's and my mom's dream, to live in Mexico without paying anything. Like, and people don't even understand our house. Our house is fucking dope. It's a duplex.
Nice.
It has a huge ass backyard, and then in our background is mountains.
Wow.
There's people. I just read an article. This guy in Wisconsin, he's selling his house for like $10 million.
Jesus.
Fucking go to Mexico. This is way better than that.
Right.
Exactly. Like you see the mountains. Like it's fucking dope.
Yeah.
And they build it. They started building it when I was 5. Every day, every year, they used to save a little bit of money just to go back to Mexico and then pay whoever was gonna pay to build like another level, put another brick or whatever. And now they fixed it up to be. It took work. It took like 9 years.
Yeah.
Now they build it and it's fucking nice. That's really
awesome.
Dope.
That's really beautiful. That it reminds me of my family in DR, and we have stuff. And you have family in Puerto Rico that have houses and stuff like that. It's not. I like being able to go to DR and say that I'm going to a house. You know what I mean? And not like, oh, I'm going to this hotel. I mean, hotels are cute, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And to know that it's like yours, even though it's not necessarily yours, and in some cases it is yours by like legally, right? But even though like that's in your family, and like growing up in the Bronx, I feel like I always felt like we didn't have shit. Like our whole lives, we didn't have shit. And it wasn't until I got older that I
can I finish my deal?
Yeah, sorry.
So that's my goal because that's what they want. So like what I want to do with my family is to make sure I provide enough for them to just go fucking live in your house. Yeah. In Mexico. And don't worry, like, you're chilling. Like, you don't have to worry about anything. We send you money. You have for food. Because that's really what they want. Yeah. Some simple ass shit. Like, literally, to live in Mexico, you need, like, $100 a week. Wow. That's, like, how cheap it is over there. Wow. For 2 people. Wow. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? So, that's, like, for us... Like, that's what we got to provide. Like, at least $100 a week. Right, which is nothing. Nothing, like, you know, I spent $100 by accident. By accident, you know? Exactly. You know. But it's also, like, I want to put them in a place where it's not just $100. Like, yeah, you're just living for free. But at the same time, if you don't want to come home, you're making income. You could fucking rent a condo in fucking New York if you want to. And see the fucking whole skyline for a month. Right. That's the kind of shit I want to provide. That's when I feel I'm successful. Word. When my whole family, my immediate family, and I have my cousin obviously, or Janice. Right. And Ivan. Yeah. If I take them all where I want to be, son, that's when I know I'm successful. That's dope. Yeah. That's so much about me. Fuck that. Yeah. No, I agree. I think that the older and older I've gotten, the more I've realized that the things that are just for me are very fleeting if I don't have other things that are important around me. And like, if I just make it and I'm just rich, but my family's still fucking living in that rinky ass apartment building. And like, you know, even like with some friends, like I wouldn't like if, you know, I show up to a brunch and all y'all are like mad broken and shattered. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, these whack ass motherfuckers. Like, I, you know what I mean? Like, I would want to have you guys with me, lift me, and so it lifted in some sort of way. Like, I always have these fantasies sometimes of like, okay, well, like because there's like this survivor's guilt mentality where it's like if I make it and I'm so big and then I leave people behind, like I feel a little guilty. But like, I want to be able to not feel guilty because I can say, oh, you know, like... Let's go to Japan together. Or like... Oh, man, I wish I could go. Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm going to Japan, by the way, if I haven't said that on an episode. But like, that I can say, like, let's say, and this isn't going to happen, but like, let's say if for whatever reason, like, Jonathan was down and out, and like, his kid, like, he didn't have money for his kids, like, something for school. Like, I want to be able to be a friend. Like, I don't need Jonathan to hang out with me every day, but I will say, oh, here's like the
50 grand that you need to pay that thing, and here, take it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to like help people in that way.
Exactly.
Without having to think about it.
Or hang out together. Like, for example, like we could hang out anytime we want.
Right.
And just be like, yo, let's rent out whatever yacht. It's like $1,000. It's not that much.
Yeah. Right. And
just hang out.
Juan has done this before with his friends. Actually,
exactly. But that's what I'm saying. But you know what I mean? It's not that bad of an experience. Or like you said, going to Japan. Oh man, listen, I want to go to Japan.
Yeah, I know. Come with us.
I want to.
Awesome. So the last little bit is Dame Luz, and so we want you to give us a little light on something. So as someone who's in real estate, you do see also like how industries are changing, like businesses. So like what type of businesses are flipping, how that restaurant turns into this type of business and that old Payless store turns into this new business. So a business that we see that is developing in certain states and countries, but not in New York yet, is the weed industry. So I
thank God.
which I would like to get a little bit of your insight on some of the things that you've seen are changing and growing within the weed industry and how that's going to affect the weed industry as we know it in New York, even though it's not an official industry, but we know a whole network of, it's an industry, right? There's a weed industry in New York that's underground. So like, what does that mean when it becomes legal in New York? Not if, when.
When becomes illegal in New York? Oh man. Well, weed is going to be more, expensive now.
Yeah.
I think that's like the only downside.
Yeah.
Besides that, it's going to be more potent.
Yeah.
It's going to taste better. It's going to be cleaner.
Yeah.
But it's going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm okay with the weed that the bud dealers have.
Right.
For me, it's like, okay.
And do you think that the bud dealers that exist now are going to get like pushed out? Almost like gentrification? Right?
Like you said, if they're smart enough, they've been in the business for I don't know how many years. Like you said, if you're smart enough, my brother, get in there. You've been doing it your whole life.
Yeah.
I might just get paid way more than that.
Right. And Eddie's referring to a conversation we had before off air where I was saying, like, my hope would be that the same motherfuckers who've been hustling and have, like, gotten the formula down can get the resources that they need to say, yo, so I'm going to open a shop. Like, or you know what I mean? Or, you know, it doesn't need to be a storefront. There's so many ways that you can get in on that industry. And I just hope that they can get in on it and not be pushed out of it.
Yeah. The thing is that they have to get together and stop thinking competing with each other.
Yeah. Which is something, that I had also mentioned.
That's the fucking Jewish guys, they get together and fucking buy a lot of houses.
Right.
And they take over neighborhoods. Yeah. But they do it as a community. You get a smaller piece of the pie, but you owning a small piece of a fucking huge ass pie.
Right.
So it's better owning a big piece of a little pie or...
Right.
Exactly.
100%. And I think that, and I was saying that, like, if you got two homeboys and y'all dealing, that's how you make money. Yeah. Or more than that. But you know what I mean? I'm just saying as an example, like, don't just think about, like, oh, well, I can't have the store or I can't start that business because I just don't have the money. And it's like, bro, you have a whole community. Like,
but that's also the advantage. I saw as an immigrant that it is crazy that we don't have connections. You know, I had a person in real estate that he was trying to train me. He was like, you know, talk to your inner circle, right? Mm-hmm. Who you know, and see, my man, my fucking uncle, my brothers, not my brother, my cousins, my uncles, they all work in the kitchen. What connects I have? You know what I mean?
Right.
Who you want me to call?
Yeah. We do
that. Yeah, I could see from immigrants, like that's the only bad thing. Because we're also first generation. Like I'm first generation here.
Yeah.
So it's like people who like come after me is like kind of different to me because they don't relate to what it feels to be first generation. First generation is crazy.
Yeah, even like for second generation, like you're second generation.
Mm-hmm. You're second generation.
Juan is second generation. Yeah, I mean, and he's Boricua, and like a lot of more Boricuas, I feel like have more generations rooted in the United States because it's a Commonwealth, right? So the immigration policy is completely different. But yeah, there is a difference in like feeling, and I feel like growing up, I used to feel like Puerto Rican people, I used to see more successful Puerto Rican people than any other like Latino people because in my brain never made the connection like if this Dominican dude owns a bodega, that's actually a big deal. If that lady owns a salon or whatever, that's a pretty big deal. They were running a business. But I never regarded those businesses the same as the Boricuas who I saw who spoke English. Like people's moms who spoke English, and the type of jobs they had to dress up because it was an office job, and they had pictures of their parents who graduated on their walls. And I'm like, damn, my mom didn't even graduate high school. Like, you know what I mean? It was always like such a lessening of what the success was that I would always look at Boricuas and I was always like, wow. They're just like, they're the successful ones. Them, not us, you know. As a first generation, because I'm literally coming from the direct struggle. It's not like now, like I see my nieces and stuff, and like my brother and I, like my nieces don't even understand that. That doesn't cross their mind because they see their titis and their father or whatever, and everybody's so Americanized, or it's deep, or it's at least one layer deeper in America that it's different. It's different for them.
Yeah, talking about that, like we grew up talking about white people were not that good. I never fucking met a white people when I was in junior high school.
No,
like, what the fuck? I never seen a white person.
Yeah, really, because unless they were our teachers and stuff like that. Or
but we had a lot of white teachers that were hot. Man.
Yeah. We did. But you know what I mean? So I think it's...
I'm not going to lie, white. Something about white girls now that are just... They started working out.
Yeah. Are you saying that now there's more white girls with ass? Is that all you're really trying to say? Because that's really all you're trying. Yeah. No, it's true. There's some thick whiteys out there. There's some for sure. But yeah. So sorry, we veered off. But like in the weed industry, so the hope would be that like folks can like take over and like get together and like start these businesses and own small pieces of big pies and be making this money.
Yeah, but it's bad for people that smoke because it's going to be more expensive.
I know, but I do think that if it's going to be, because like the more that I've seen it develop in other states, I'm interested to see how medically, like actually, not just recreationally, because there are some people who it's like they claim medical so that they can use it recreationally, but then there are people who genuinely need medical marijuana. I mean, I have one friend who she used to get these seizures, and literally she needed to smoke, and smoking would stop the seizures. Like,
no way.
No, 100%. No, 100%. 100%, because I've been in moments where I literally had to put joints in her mouth and light it for her because she couldn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, insane. But to have seen it and to have witnessed actually medical marijuana at work, I was like, you know, like it's all fun and games and everybody likes 420 jokes and all that stuff, but there are actually a lot of people who are being robbed of the opportunity of getting that type of medication because we just think it's a drug for like people who are lazy and blah, blah, and all these stigmas. So I'm excited to see. I wonder if that benefit will be worth me paying a couple extra bucks for bud.
Actually, I feel like a lot of great people get high.
Yeah. Oh God. Everybody smokes. Everybody
does. But not just smoke weed. But not just smoke weed in general. Like we were speaking earlier. Like there's a theory that like the first man, that's how they
like discovered.
But that makes sense though. Cause I don't know if you, but I personally been on some trips. Jesus, I was like, yo, this
eye opening. Yeah.
This is like, I feel like one of my trips actually felt like I was being born.
Wow.
And this is just on weed. Like,
wow.
I don't do anything but weed besides that and nothing.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, and but it's been a really cool experience because actually, like a change, you change your mind, you know? Yeah. Yeah. You feel like you're just new person. Like, fuck it. Yesterday was yesterday. Now, every day you have an opportunity to just like start over. But you don't want to start over too many times. Because then you just starting over. That's just
and then you get caught up in starting over.
You lose the point.
Yeah.
My brother is to start over one time. That's it. Well, you can start over a few times,
but I get what you're saying. Yeah. The more you start over, then you're just comfortable starting over and never actually going to step 2.
Yeah.
Word. Yo, so where can we find you? What's your social media?
Well, you can call me.
Yeah, no, give us the plug. If we need to find an apartment, how do we find
definitely.
you?
No, not an apartment. If you want to buy, you want to sell.
Gotcha. Sorry, very clear. Buying, selling. So if you're in that place, you can find him.
Yes, call me at 917-371-9129. You can find me on Instagram at hvia2018.
Dope. And you can find us at Ladies Who Bronche on Facebook and Instagram, at Ladies Bronche on Twitter. Thanks for listening, and until next time, Bronche.